Alright, so this is my NBA playoff recaps, part 4. This will be from the games from May 9th through May 12th. Getting started here with the Cavs and the Pacers series. So the Pacers are up 3-1 right now. The Cavs have been healthy for the most part for games 3 and game 4. Game 3, obviously, it went their way. Getting all their guys back made a huge difference. Donovan Mitchell had 43 points. Guys like Evan Mobley was great. Darius Garland was decent, and DeAndre Hunter was decent as well. So again, getting those guys back in game 3 definitely helped them. They still didn't shoot great from the field, 42% from the field, and only 29% from 3. So again, offensively they weren't great, but defensively they were much improved this game as well. And still they were better offensively, but their percentages just weren't amazing. But game 4 did not go their way, right? They still had every guy healthy, again, for the most part. Donovan Mitchell got hurt in the second half, but at that point it was pretty much already wraps. So not too worried about that injury as well. They said Donovan Mitchell will likely be ready to play game 5, although he might not be 100%, which, at this point nobody's really 100%, but still that's not ideal. But game 5 did not go Cleveland's way at all. They were down by as much as 40 points in this game. That was really bad. They actually played decent offensively. They shot 40% from the field, right? They just had 22 turnovers in this game, which was a very, very big factor, obviously, right? And Indiana was amazing, shooting 52% from the field and 42% from 3 themselves. The Cavs also shot 40 free throws, right? That's what kept them in this game for a little bit. They were 35 of 40 from free throws. That's a bunch of free throws, right? So obviously, they did good at getting to the line. But again, shooting 42% from the field is not great, right? They need to be better at that, and definitely need to get those turnover numbers down. Going forward for the Cavs, you're down 3-1. There's 3 teams that are currently down 3-1. Okay, I know I said this last round when there was, I believe, 3 teams down 3-1. I feel like when there's that many teams that are in a 3-1 hole, I feel like somebody's gonna get out of it, right? So again, if I had to pick any of these 3 teams right now to get out of a 3-1 hole, it would be the Cleveland Cavaliers, because even though they are banged up in their own right, they are probably the most healthy team that is down 3-1 right now. But again, my original pick was Cavs in 7. Right now, I'd probably be leaning Pacers in 6. I think the Cavs will get a win in game 5, but after that, I gotta go Indiana in 6 as my current pick. Moving on from there, we got the Knicks and the Celtics. So the Celtics are down 3-1 as well. They won game 3 by quite a bit. They did not blow a 20-point lead this time, which is obviously, good for them. Jason Tatum, was pretty good in this game, right? He had 22 points. Overall, right, they were all really well. Boston shot 50% from 3. New York shot 20% from 3. Big turnover or shooting variant in that game. Boston obviously capitalized and won this game by quite a bit. Game 4 was pretty close throughout the entire game. Boston was up, I think, 15 at some point, but New York was kind of close for the majority of this game. And then, of course, Jason Tatum went down with an injury towards the end of game 4, which kind of sealed the deal for Boston. And New York ended up winning by 8 points. Jason Tatum had 42 points, in this game. He was great. Jalen Brunson had 39. He was great as well. But that Tatum injury towards the end, definitely put the nail in the coffin for Boston. And being down 3-1 without Jason Tatum for the rest of the season, probably a whole next year as well, if it is an Achilles injury. It's very hard to see Boston winning any more games in this series. My original pick, Boston in 6, has now been flipped to New York in 5, probably, because again, I don't think they're going to get a game here if Jason Tatum does not play, which he's not going to play, right, in game 5. Next is going to be the Nuggets. It's a 2-2 series right now, so this is probably going to be a great series. I think this is going to go 7 games either way at this point. But game 3, right, this series has been pretty good, all except for game 2. Obviously, a 40-point win, not very good. But game 3 went to overtime. Denver dominated the overtime period. Right, they won by 9 points in overtime. 11-2 in those 5-minute overtime period. Not good at all for OKC. But looking overall from this game, OKC did not play very good. They shot 38% from the field and 25% from 3. That is atrocious, right? The fact that they even made it to overtime was, a testament to their defense and stuff. But again, you got to do better offensively than that if you want to win a game, right? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was 7 for 22 in game 3. Not good. Nikola Jokic also wasn't very good, 8 of 25. But he had a lot more help. There was 4 different Nuggets guys that had 20 points in this game, right? So Denver, very much a collective win there in game 3. And game 4 was a close battle as well. Definitely lower scoring than any other game in this series. Obviously, as you can tell, neither team broke 100. We had the lowest scoring first quarter in NBA history at 17-8. There was at least maybe a playoff history. I don't know if it was going to be a history counting regular season, but very, very low scoring first quarter. They kind of picked it up towards the rest of this game, but still, both teams shot really bad. OKC 35% from the field. Denver 31. OKC 24% from three. Denver also 24%. Like, both teams were atrocious offensively, right? OKC was, I guess, a little bit better, right? Than Denver, a little bit better, but they're still really bad. Right, so that is 2 straight games where OKC has been really bad offensively, but they did manage to get one win out of it. So going forward here, right, Nikola Jokic has not been very good as far as his shooting percentages, and OKC has not been very good the last couple of games as far as their team shooting percentages. So we're really going to have to see either OKC as a whole or Nikola Jokic have a really efficient game going forward for their own teams if they want to win this series. My original pick of Thunder in 6, I'm probably going to switch to Thunder in 7. And then next up is the Warriors and the Timberwolves. My original pick, Timberwolves in 7. They're up 3-1 right now, and the Golden State Warriors are, of course, without Stephen Curry. They said there was a chance that he could play in Game 5, but it is very unlikely. It's a very small chance. Right, looking at Game 4, it was a very close game. Both these games have been fairly close without Stephen Curry, so that kind of goes to show that if Stephen Curry was playing, they'd have a really good shot to be up 3-1 right now. But Game 3, Golden State was actually pretty good offensively. Minnesota just did a little bit of a better job, getting to the foul line and stuff like that. But it was a very close game, right? Golden State shot better from 3, better from the field, a little bit worse from free throw. They had less turnovers and they had less offensive rebounds. Like, looking at the team box score, right? Golden State should have won this game. But for Minnesota, you got guys like Anthony Edwards putting up 36 points. Julius Randle with a 24 points with a double. Golden State could not stop those two guys. And nobody besides Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga was doing anything. Draymond Green had 2 points, right? Brandon Podziemski had 5 points. Those guys are starters. 2 different starters combined for 7 points. That's not exactly what you want to see for the Golden State Warriors. In Game 4, it was a little bit better offensively for Golden State. Both teams were solid here. Golden State did not shoot very good from 3, though. They were only 29%, while Minnesota shot 47%. But they did get more help aside from Jimmy Butler offensively in this game. But Jimmy Butler struggled himself. He was only 14 points here. But Draymond Green chipped in good. Kuminga, other guys like that were doing pretty good. Jimmy Butler only had 14 points on 5 and 9 shooting. He needs to be more aggressive going forward in this series if Golden State wants to win. But my original pick of Timberwolves in 7, I'm probably going to go Timberwolves in 5. I mean, Golden State could maybe get one game here in Game 5, but again, they're probably going to be without Stephen Curry. If they do win that game, there's a chance he's back for Game 6, and that could spark a potential 3-1 comeback here for Golden State. But I would have to imagine Timberwolves close it out in 5 games. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check back later this week for an updated playoff recap, and goodbye.